Hello guys, you're welcome back to my channel. My name is Tessie. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you all, depending on where you are watching from. Hope you all are doing well, and thank you so much for stopping by. So Atkiku raises alarm as the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal refuses to release the judgment. So you all knows that both Atkiku Abubakar and Peter Obi are all waiting for the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal to release the judgment so that they can all proceed to Supreme Court. Now, these people has refused to release the judgment, and the thing is that these people, they have limited time, so they are holding down this judgment so that by the time they get to Supreme Court, they will tell them they delayed, that they did not come on time, because that is what they said at the Presidential Election Tribunal. When they rejected Peter Obi 10 witnesses, they said they were out of time. So it is obvious that the tribunal is doing everything possible to frustrate the petitioners. I'm gonna be reading out this article for you guys here, because this is Atkiku Abubakar crying out to the general public. But before we get into this news, I want to beg you all to please help me by liking this video, also share with others so that YouTube and Facebook can recommend it to more people. The news here read: Atkiku raises alarm as Presidential Election Petition Tribunal refuses to release judgment, reviews later. The People's Democratic Party, PDP's presidential candidate Atkiku Abubakar has accused the Presidential Election Petition Court of undermining his quest for justice by delaying the release of the certified true copies of its judgment. Politics Nigeria report that Frank Shaibu, the Special Assistant on Public Communications to the former Vice President, said in a statement on Friday that the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal has not released the CTCs of its judgment 3 days after it was delivered. Shaibu said the delay was frustrating Atiku's lawyers, who have just 14 days. These people have just 14 days to file an appeal to the Supreme Court. He said the Presidential Election Petition Court had made heavy weather at the delivering of its judgment on Wednesday that parties need to adhere strictly to the time scheduled set by the court. The Presidential Election Petition Court is not oblivious that 3 precious days of the 14-day limit for parties to file their processes at the highest court have been wasted by the appeal court, Shaibu said. He said the Presidential Election Petition Court has struck out the testimonies of some Atiku's witnesses during the litigation at the Court of First Instance because their statements on oath were filed out of time. And now, from all intent and purposes, the same court want to have Atkiku and PDP's appeal to the Supreme Court disqualified by the same reason of time deadline, Shaibu said. Does the PEPC not understand that the lawyers representing Atkiku or PDP need to digest the judgment as contained in the CTCs, which represent the authentic pronouncement made in court on Wednesday, in order to formulate its case for filing? The full statement reads: press release. Please find below a press statement and attached copies of letters to the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal requesting for copies of its judgment in the petition against the declaration of Bola Ahmed Tinubu as president. Presidential Election Petition Court had to undermine Atkiku and Nigerians' quest for justice. Not releasing copies of judgment to Atkiku and PDP is anti-democratic. 3 days after delivering its judgment on the petition by Atkiku Abubakar and the People's Democratic Party challenging the outcome of the February 25th presidential election, the Court of Appeal has yet to provide lawyers to the Atkiku and PDP certified through copies of their judgment. This is coming as Atkiku and his lawyers have just 14 days to file their appeal to the Supreme Court on the judgment. Special Assistant to Atkiku on Public Communications, Frank Shaibu, has however remarked that by not making available to Atkiku Abubakar, presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, the certified through copies of the judgment on Wednesday for its filing at the Supreme Court, the Presidential Election Petition Court is undermining Atiku's and Nigerians' quest for justice. Shaibu made this assertion in a press statement on Friday while expressing the frustration of Atkiku and the PDP in progressing with the filing of its appeal at the Supreme Court. Shaibu reminded the Presidential Election Petition Court that it has made heavyway at the delivering of its judgment on Wednesday that parties need to adhere strictly to the time schedule set by the court. He noted that the Presidential Election Petition Court is not oblivious that 3 precious days of the 14-day limit for parties to file their processes at the highest court have been wasted by the appeal court. We wish to remind the Presidential Election Petition Court that it struck out the testimonies of some of the witnesses of Atkiku during the litigation at the court of first instance because their statement on oath were filed out of time. And now, from all intents and purposes, the same court want to have Atkiku and PDP's appeal to the Supreme Court disqualified by the reason of out of time deadline. He further said that there can be no justification for the Presidential Election Petition Court not making available the CTC of its so-called judgment for Atkiku to continue with his quest on behalf of over 200 million Nigerians for substantial justice as opposed to the judgment rendered by the Presidential Election Petition Court. It is curious that the same PEPC that claimed that the judgment was ready as at the time it was delivered on Wednesday is still grappling with typos and errors, according to available information. Why did the PEPC not wait till next week to deliver the judgment as it would still have met the legal deadline instead of rushing to render a judgment which thus is still undergoing panel beating? It is anti-democratic of the court to steal, already at the last count, 3 precious days out of the 14-day time limit for Atkiku to file his processes at the Supreme Court. The lost time would never be recovered, he said. All right, my people, and that is it for you all. And under here, we actually have a statement issued to the presidential from Atkiku and PDP presidential election team to the court. The truth of the matter is that these people, they actually know what they are doing. At the end of the day, they want to frustrate Atkiku and Peter Obi's petition against Tinubu. All of these people, they are the same and they are working together. I don't want to sound negative, but at the end of the day, it's the same people at the lower court you will meet at the highest court because they are all working together. Let's hope that the Supreme Court will prove us wrong. But at the end of the day, these people are just the same. And that is it for you all. I'm going to leave you all to share your thoughts with me on the comment section. Please do not forget to share, like, and subscribe, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye-bye. Bye.